Mpenzi utangoja, yeah. Mpenzi utangoja, yeah, yeah. Sitaki we uchoke, yeah. Sitaki we uchoke, yeah. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. If you wait for me, I don't need nobody else. I'm trying to find good love, baby, maybe, and I'll be the one for you.
She says she's okay. I don't believe her. There's just something about the way she turned her back on me. I know in my mind I'll never leave her. There's just something about the way we love each other right. And even though we fight all night and day, I know sometimes in love there can be pain. And even though we need a little break, I know that you'll come back to me. I'll come back to you, 'cause that's when you'll start to feel my love. Feel it, that's when you feel it. That's when you'll start to feel my love. Feel it, that's when you'll feel it.
Usiponipenda nitapendwa na nani? Nitakuwa mgeni wa nani? Ukiwa mbali nami nabaki tabani. Ona nahisi kisirani, hawa haina maana. Nina wewe kuzozana, mbona tunasimangana? Hatuwezi semezana, my love, haina maana. Nina wewe kuzozana, mbona tunasimangana? Hatuwezi semezana.
And even though we fight all night and day,
I know sometimes in love there can be pain. And even though we need our rain, I know that you come back to me. And you know that I come back to you. That's when you start to
I know sometimes in love there can be pain, and even if we need a little break, I know that you come back to me. You know that I'll come back to you, and that's when you start to feel my love.
Rise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Happy Friday, happy Friday. That is Sauti Soul signing out there with Feel My Love, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive show. Of course, if it's Friday and you see this background, you know that we have quite the lineup for you on this Friday. What can you expect on the Power Morning Drive show? Of course, I have a guest today. We shall be talking a little bit about digital transformation in Kenya. I also have some updates of what has been making the rounds both locally and internationally on our news roundup. Then later on, you will catch us from 1:30 p.m. all the way till 4 p.m. as we give you what has been trending around the week on the Power Up. And that's why we are on this set. But you know, it's Friday, it's a nice vibe and everything. So you just want to make sure that you tune in all the way till 10 a.m. as we just continue to bring you some interactive and engaging conversations that matter to you, conversations that matter to Kenyans, and conversations that you know should be held and have to be held. Of course, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio on Instagram. We are also on X. You can also find us on YouTube. Find this live broadcast, live streaming on YouTube at Power Radio. If you've not yet subscribed, kindly do that, and we will you'll be sure to catch us live as well. We are also streaming on our website www.power254.org/Power Radio. Right, keep them if you want to listen to any of Kenyan music, because you know we keep it 100% Kenyan here. Hit us up on those social media handles. Let us know, bring your requests, and we will be sure to play for you that as well. Let me take a quick breather, and when we come back, I give you the day's traffic updates, and then we get into what has been making news headlines both locally and internationally. This is the Power Morning Drive on Power Radio. See you in a bit.
What's up, people? My name's Adele Wanyoike, and it's a beautiful day in the 254. The next song is just for you. It's called Miss Obi by Kagwe Mungai.
She said my name is Obi. Vigile na my Odi. Wageni kata all around me. Take what they want and disown me. Nimeko to my place, call me. Tubangaize na kasmoki. Nimechoka kuhustle from leo ni gani jioni. Twende tukawake Nairobi West. Tupitie Westi. Nikupige busu ndani ya ma3 chini ya maji. When you're singing in stadiums and crowds, just remember you're making me proud. Say my name and say it aloud. Nairobi, yeah. Obi, 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 Miss Nairobi on fire. Obi, 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 Miss Nairobi on fire. Chini kwa chini, juu kwa juu, I'm in love with you. Nairobi on fire, Miss Obi on fire. Hey, Miss Obi, I've been in love with you my whole life. The kind of love I wouldn't know how to replace. The love I wanna hold tight. Oh, Miss Obi, let's dance together in the moonlight. The way you shine in the middle of the darkness. Clearly you're my true light, my true light. Sana na enda safari. Usiku na mchana na kutamani. Duniani kote na kusifu welai. Narudi home baadaye, nawaambia wote nakupenda welai. Nairobi, you're the love of my life. Oh, Obi, 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 Miss Nairobi on fire. Obi, 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 Miss Nairobi on fire. Chini kwa chini, juu kwa juu, I'm in love with you. Nairobi on fire, Miss Obi on fire. Nimekutuma, please call me. Tupangaize na kasmoky. Nimechoka kuhustle from leo ni gani jioni. Twende tukawake Nairobi West. Tupitie West E. Nikupige busu ndani ya ma3 chini ya maji. When you're singing in stadiums and crowds, just remember you're making me proud. Say my name and say it aloud. Nairobi, Miss Nairobi on fire. Miss Nairobi on fire. Chini kwa chini, juu kwa juu, I'm in love with you. Nairobi on fire. Miss Obi on fire. Obi, Miss Nairobi on fire. Obi, Miss Nairobi on fire. Chini kwa chini, juu kwa juu, I'm in love with you. Nairobi on fire. Miss Obi on fire.
Got the beautiful Miss V on them vocals. Calligraph Jones in the place. Rabbit. Teamwork. Let's get it.
From outer space, out of this world, we come in peace, tell you master all. We are taking over this place right now. But bring your crew, you can let them know. We in town, they should dress up for the show. We are bringing down this town tonight, oh. In an African party, we stomp our feet on the ground. We raise our hands in the air and say, hey, hey, hey. Luka, leo hatulali jo. Dunda, asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare madem na machali tu. Usijali hali lipoona juu. Luka, leo hatulali jo. Dunda, asubuhi mpaka kesho jo. Washanare madem na machali tu. Usijali hali mikono juu.
Imagine, hivyo ndo muingianga kwa klabu au jasikia tunakula life na adabu na masela wana hela umenijazka hiu mase hela ni jui basi tela ni king kaka king of Zamunda tuko ndani na tumedunga kaka clothing bado mtumba mina manager tuko tight anajua mini spend thrift meza drinks nimezipanga kama Tetris.
In an African party, we stomp our feet on the ground. We raise our hands in the air and say, hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, check it out. It's Big Beats, K Jones. If everybody hating, the game is a mess.
To sunset, all day and night.
Power Radio.
I'm the best, yeah, I'm flossing. Check out the chains on my neck and the way I'm rocking the beat, it's like a mystery. Is everybody really trying to diss me? So while you doing that, I'll be making history. And I'll be rocking the mic till I'm 50. Strictly, yeah, I do it for the fans. And the plan is to make everybody understand that the man is all about making a lot of brands. The one I know why my music is on demand, cause I stay on the grind every day. Never give a damn what the people gon' say. This ain't free, this time you gotta pay. 1960, that's where I lay. Everybody from the east to the west like you know you be rocking with the best like your boy always pressed to impress like and now we be on to the next like cause we got it like Eastlands, yo, we had it like Westlands, yo, we had it like Uptown, yo, we had it like cause we got it like yo, we had it like Hey, y'all, 1960 holler. It is never been done. I'm mixing hip-hop with Lingala. The combination is tight and real. Not the Western rappers wanna bite the skill. Every page that I open is like a new chapter. Rap's a Bible, then I'm a true pastor. They come too slow, then I come through faster. Sicker than but I'm working damn flu bastard. I make it happen, everybody should be clapping. And the cheddar we be stacking. All the shorties you be tapping, got everything you be lacking. Yeah, I get it popping. And when I get to rapping, you know I'm never stopping. From Kayole, I'm taking it to Congo. Tuko anza juicy, tuli anza kitambo. We go hard and we never stay soft. One time a salute. Everybody from the east to the west like you know you be rocking with the best like your boy all the stress to impress like and now we be on to the next like cause we got them like Eastlands, yo, we had them like Westlands, yo, we had them like Uptown, yo, we had them like cause we got them like yo, we had them like
Bapodinga na pankolaka zote koma sembe sembe okopetenga na zoka lobi na zwa maladi ya cancer lobi tango na popola yo kiminga ye
Baby don't go.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Alrighty, welcome back to this is if you're still tuned into the Pawa Morning Drive show, the very special edition of the Friday one. Yes, that's why we are on a different set because it's a good feel Friday right here on Power Radio. Let's get into the day's traffic. Despite it being a whole weekend, ushering into the weekend, traffic is already looking like it is. All the way from Brookhouse International Schools on Langata Road, there's bumper to bumper traffic. It's absolutely crazy. All the way down towards Langata Road is looking very busy this morning. Down towards where is this? Timol actually. So all that area is painted red. Let's move on to Ngong Road. Same situation from Adams Arcade all the way towards where is this? Towards Kenyatta Hospital. Things are also looking very busy on your end this morning. Same situation happening along Mombasa Road from Capital Center down towards town into town. Things looking very, very busy on your end as well. Thika Road, same situation from Survey down towards Pangani. Same situation, heavy traffic. The same goes on also at Kiambu Road from the DCI all the way down towards Muthaiga. Same situation happening right there. We also have Limuru Road from Village Market. Incidentally, things are looking quite busy on your end as well. Down towards Muthaiga, same situation happening along Lower Kabete Road as you go into the Zen Garden area. Let me see, switch it up to Wanyoike Way. It's actually not bad this morning. There's only just a little bit of a snarl up as you go from the Kabete Polytechnic area, but it clears out soon after you leave as you go towards the ABC Place, Nairobi, but nothing much to complain about. There's just a little bit of traffic there as you go from Mudhangari into the address area as well. Kikambala Road, also nothing much to complain about this morning. It's swiftly moving. Raila Odinga Road, also the same situation. Not much to complain about on that. Naivasha Estate, Naivasha Road looking busy as well. That's what is happening across that front. In the meantime, Right, let's go to Jogoo Road. Jogoo Road kumeshikana pia bumper to bumper, especially as you go towards Gikomba. Things are looking busy this morning. There's nothing that we can do for you. I think you just have to chill a little bit and you will be out of the woods in no time. So let's see. Where is this? On your way to, this is just an extension of Jogoo Road. Buruburu, as you go from Manyanja Road, also things are thick kiasi. Same situation happening on Feather Estate, that road that links towards the Imara Daima Estate as well as Feather Estate. Things are looking quite busy this morning on your end. Heavy traffic, especially as you go into the Eastern Bypass. And then after that, things are looking cleared out. Right. That's the situation happening on our roads this morning. Let me take a quick breather, and then when we get back, we get into what has been making news headlines, both locally and internationally. This is the Pawa Morning Drive show. If you have any questions on any song that you might want to request, kindly do so, and we will be glad to play it for you. Keep it Power Radio. We'll be right back.
So baby, don't cry.
Ladies, feel me.
Baby, say my name.
Kunguru Misaleni.
Can you feel the pain?
I know that you fed up. Sing along.
I will never let you down.
Nateni yengoga.
I will never make you cry.
Nateni nesoga.
I will never let you down.
Nateni nyodoga.
My girl, I will never make you cry.
Nateni setoga. Baby, fikiria kila siku mina kupara. Najua wanipenda sana, mbona unadai? I can see you fly, niko chini bado nitarai. Figa yako ndio mzuri sana, adhiambo. Wajua kupepesa, hizo sianda. Dear Jesus, I never knew I met an angel. Baby girl, wange dongo nega heri. Donyi lepi nyisadendi, tomona weri.
I will never let you down.
Nateni yengoga.
I will never make you cry.
Nateni nesoga.
I will never let you down.
Nateni nyodoga.
My girl, I will never make you cry.
Nateni setoga. Baby girl, you lovely, deadly, sexy girl. Jabe, don't touch me, kiss me, so ika. Najua wanipenda sana, mbona kweli waninyima hizo vitu we. Nyakini dungi ngena manyiga taheriga. Iyengo nagi kwalo na jaber. Njonami, wange dongo tingo na gondeso na jaber.
I will never let you down.
Nateni yengoga.
I will never make you cry.
Nateni nesoga.
I will never let you down.
Nateni nyodoga.
My girl, I will never make you cry.
Nateni
So
setoga.
baby, don't go. Never give up.
I know that you fed up.
Won't you say yeah?
Aheriga, amaniga, adwariga.
Can you feel the pain?
I know, Misaleni, sing along.
Kama wanipenda basi nionyeshe.
Nashinda ni kwa nini kila siku tupigana.
Kama unitaki basi niambie.
Nitafanya nini ama dunia ni hame.
Najua wanitaka, mbona wajifanya?
Mimi nakupenda anzia leo mpaka mwisho.
Wachana mambo zao, wanaona wivu.
Show me what your mama gave to ya.
I will never let you down.
Nateni yengoga.
I will never make you cry.
Nateni nesoga.
I will never let you down.
Nateni nyodoga.
My girl, I will never make you cry.
Nateni setoga.
I will never let you down.
Nateni yengoga.
I will never make you cry.
Nateni nesoga.
I will never let you down.
Nateni nyodoga.
My girl, I will never make you cry.
Nateni setoga.
Baby, don't go. So baby, don't cry. Baby, say my name. Can you feel the pain?
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
I make mountains out of molehills, and it can be quite the scene. Think about how far I've come and my life looking greater than it's ever been. If I could eat my pie in the sky, it would be just my thing. Sipping on my champagne and my life looking greater than it's ever been. My life looking greater than it's ever been. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? You must be Africa's son. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. You must be an African. I don't know about my haters, but they should know about me. Keep me humble, oh God. My life looking greater than it's ever been. I overflow flavor. My pockets are full of greed. Even on my worst day, my life looking greater than it's ever been. Woo! My life looking greater than it's ever been. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? You must be Africa's son. How did you rise so fast, so high, and not melt your wings in the sun? They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. They say you must be an African. They say you must be Africa's son. You must be an African. Jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me back. If you jealous, don't hold me back. Jealous, don't hold me, no, no, no. If you jealous, don't hold me back. I'm saying, please don't jealous me. Please don't jealous me. I'm singing, please stop jealous me. Please stop jealous me. I'm singing, please stop jealous me. If you jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me, jealous, don't hold me.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
You took my time. Nasi dawai pata tena. No, you had my life. Sungeni ambia mapema. Yeah, and no lie. Sikudhani tumechana. 'Cause in a way, you were everything I lacked. Sasa nawaza kila siku, mbona hukuwa mwaminifu? I scratch your back and try to be true, but it just feels like a game to you. Wafanya penzi hiyo mchezo, vile wanicheza. Misi uwanja wa mchezo, mbona wanicheza? Wafanya penzi liwe mchezo, oh, vile wanicheza. Misi uwanja wa mchezo, mbona wanicheza?
Hujawahi ona mwingine na macho. Akina nani wanakujaza mawazo, tukisonga wanaturudisha mwanzo. Baby, siwezi kucheza, 'cause I'm all in, falling for you. Even I'm loyal. Why you walking out the door knowing I adore you, baby? Siwezi kucheza haya mapenzi, siwezi kucheza usiuacha wa mchezo, siwezi kucheza haya mapenzi, si mchezo, siwezi kucheza usiuacha wa mchezo, siwezi kucheza
wafanya penzi hiyo mchezo,
siwezi kucheza
si uwanja wa mchezo,
siwezi kucheza haya mapenzi, si mchezo, siwezi kucheza
misi uwanja wa mchezo,
siwezi kucheza.
This is Hendrix Sam.
Hekima mdomoni mwake na uzuri wake wasambaza kote. Heshima kwake ni msingi, akiipeana apewa kwa wingi. Kusu kusu kusu, wivu na uvivu, jamaa yake mwendo wake. Kusu kusu kusu, wivu na uvivu, jamaa yake. Manzi wa maana ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Kazi zake ni za kuvutia, lote afanyalo afanyia Mungu, na ukweli ndiyo nguvu yake. Maombi moyoni yamuimarisha, na ujali wa mwingine chake yeye haki, usichana wake hadi wawe. Jali wa mwingine chake yeye haki, usichana wake. Manzi wa maana ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Maana ni manzi wa Mungu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Ni manzi wa nguvu, manzi ambaye amwogopaye Mungu siku zake zote. Henry Mutuku ulinifunza manzi wa maana,
from sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Right, that is Manzi wa Maana by Miss Fiasco herself, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive show, a very special edition, not the Friday edition. That's why we are on a different set. Again, if you want to reach out to us, kindly do that on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across Facebook, Instagram, X, as well as YouTube. You can also find us on our website, www.power254.org/Power Radio. Right, let's get into what has been making the rounds, and something quite interesting and also embarrassing on our end. Now, the PS, that's a Permanent Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Corin Sing'oei, yesterday he posted a deepfake on his Twitter account, weighing in on Farid Zakaria, apparently a fake Farid Zakaria of CNN, trying to sort of mount the picture that Kenya's involvement in the diplomatic, peace talks that are happening right now in South Sudan, trying to push a narrative that Kenya is doing what it needs to do. And so it was very embarrassing, and of course he had to pull it down after outcry from Kenyans on Twitter there. The deepfake really, you could see, we're living in a very hyper-digitalized world, and AI is driving a lot of the things that we know now as reality, or maybe virtual reality. We are living in a very interesting time where the nexus between what is real and what is fake is sort of not like the lines have been blurred. And I'm so glad that we have an digital and AI and technology expert today in studio, and we shall be getting more into that conversation with him and just kind of try to make sense of exactly what do we do in this particular situation. So yes, Mr. Koril, that's what he did yesterday. He posted a deepfake right there. And then because of the outcry from Kenyans, he's been able to pull it down. And this morning, he actually posted an apology again on his X account, saying that I sincerely apologize for inadvertently posting an AI-generated video disguised as a genuine commentary from Farid Zakaria of CNN on the search for peace in the South Sudan conflict and Kenya's role in it. He continues further to say that I regret any confusion this may have caused and thank everyone who flagged the video as a deepfake. Our ministry has been working with partners and tech companies to explore the potential of watermarking AI-generated content to ensure that such material does not pose as human-generated material. Additionally, we are designing, with the collaboration of partners and big tech companies, the School of AI Diplomacy, that is SAID, at the Foreign Services Academy, a program I will attend to equip policymakers better to navigate these emerging challenges. My apologies once again, and sincerely appreciate everyone's vigilance, correction, and candor. And it looks like it was a bad mistake, and it's not looks like it actually was a bad mistake. I mean, by the time, such a very senior public official account is putting out information that could really actually cause havoc both locally and internationally, because of course this was weighing into the diplomacy talks that are happening in between Sudan and Kenya. There has to be some sort of regulation that has to go into what can go out and what cannot go out. And then secondly, the deeper conversation there also is to ensure that we have more stringent measures, right? And I'm no expert, and that's why I'm telling you that we shall be getting more into this discussion later on. But there's many things to say about this, but more so, it's very embarrassing on our end. And so do you take the apology? Do let us know. What do you think needs to happen? What needs to be done to ensure that such things are not happening under our watch? Because if you have the mandate to steward such a national and public account, then it means that there has to be extra vigilance and extra systems that are put in place to ensure that such mistakes also do not happen. And then of course there's a question of digital literacy, and right now I think it's coming into something else like AI literacy, or probably the technology literacy. How do we ensure that we are moving with the world as it moves? Because there's only maybe few people, or not the majority of Kenyans can be able to have that sort of insight to be able to differentiate between what is real and what is fake. And so that also a conversation about digital literacy needs to also kickstart and start happening right now. And as he has said that they are working towards the school of AI diplomacy, it would be interesting to also see how that plays out in Kenya. I mean, I'm all for it, for sure. I'm definitely all for it, but I would love to hear more about how the school is set up, what this would mean and portend for diplomatic ties and relations between Kenya and the other countries. Right now I think it's a little bit I would call it Kenya's diplomacy crunch time, because we just came out of Addis Ababa. We saw what happened with Raila Odinga. Then now we have the South Sudan conflict right now, with a lot of drama happening on that front, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on as well. So yeah, it would be interesting. I would just need more information, but there's a lot to be said about regulation, a lot to be said about alternative measures, vigilance in terms of digital access, as well as digital regulation on that, and also digital literacy. So yeah, it's a little bit of here and there. I don't know. I'm not the expert. I can't wait to ask my guest about this later on the program. But moving on swiftly, there's a story here by so there has been a TikTok trend of young people. Of course, Kenyans are very creative in their own ways, and I think mostly Kenyan youth and Kenyan artists have found a way of satirizing their lived experiences. We live in a very the government of Kenya, if you ask me, but nobody is asking, but I'll tell you anyway, it's a little bit of a circus. It's different stories. I mean, the same is the same story every now and then, but different day. And so you just never know where a funny moment or a funny meme will come from, but that is just the world that we live in. And so to satirize the conversation, there has been a trend on TikTok of young Kenyans dancing to Ruto's public address on the roads in the northern eastern region. And of course, yesterday he was being asked about whether he knows that he's been trending on TikTok and his speech being danced to by many youngins. And he said, of course he does. And further on, he goes on to say that, of course, he knows the roads of Kenya. And he also stamped on that and said that it is his job, and so he is aware of what he's saying. But he said that further on goes to say that, Kenyans are not serious people. You guys just like making fun of me and my government. And I'm like, have you seen what your government is doing? We have to make sure that we are making fun of it, because we cannot cry at this point. Like today I was watching, a show, and they were discussing about how, I think it's it's a news item on one of the dailies, that the government actually is planning to start making people pay for extra, auxiliary roads. We saw it with the expressway, and, the who's of this country pay, and of course the fare hiked, and many people dropped off of that as well. So it's like they want to have a copy-paste situation of the expressway, but like on different roads. I've heard that Kiambu Road is also one of them. Thika Road is also something else that they want to start making Kenyans pay. And I'm like, why do we pay taxes? And then there's also maintaining roads. There's a maintenance roads levy that we pay heavily pay for that kind of work to happen. And so when you look at the situations that we're living in right now, and the nexus between our lived experience and of course with these young TikTokers also just kind of trying to make sense and make fun of their lived experiences in Kenya, you can understand where they are coming from, because it's always one thing after the other. If we're not paying roads, we're not paying to access roads and use the roads that we have paid taxes, and punitively, might I add, we are being made to pay loans to access medical healthcare, healthcare services, as we saw the other day, that statement coming from that. If it is not healthcare, they are also making sure that we do not even pay our housing levy and not own. It's like a rent to own, or whatever it is that the Cabinet Secretary of Lands, CS Alice Wahome was explaining the other day on NTV. We still do not know and understand what exactly she was talking about. And of course, a lot of Kenyans are very angry with the lack of clarity and confusion in even how the communication is done to the public. So do you blame them? I personally can't blame the TikTokers. I mean, have a good laugh if you can when it comes to satirizing and trying to make sense of the situation that is happening in your country. Let's take a quick breather. When I come back, we get into our day's conversation. That marks the end of our international and local news roundup today. I'll be joined by technology, AI, and all things tech expert and advocate of the High Court of Kenya, Mr. Richard Odongo. He will be talking to us about digital transformation, everything that we need to know from AI, regulation, cybersecurity. How do we ensure that we are transforming not only our political, but also our social, our economic, our education landscapes through data and also artificial intelligence, and also what does that look like in terms of creating sustainable digital transformation matrix and everything that's in between. So let's take a quick breather and let's come back and get right into that conversation. Start streaming in your questions. The hashtag to use is hashtag Pawa Morning Drive. Yes, and we are across all social media handles. The handle is at Pawa Radio, and we're also streaming there. So let's take a quick breather. We'll be right back. Keep it Pawa Radio.
Can I call you baby?
Call me baby.
Baby, can I get your number maybe?
Maybe.
Nataka tu juane, nataka tu onane, nataka tu elewane, nataka tu pendane.
I see you wanting me. I see you checking me. I see you wanting me, and baby, I think you're fly. I see you watching me. I see you checking me. I see you wanting me, and baby, I can see it in your eyes. I see the sun shining bright, shining bright. When I see your smile, I feel the sunshine. You are my sunshine.
Yeah, baby, allow me to drive you crazy.
You can drive me
This is meant to
crazy.
be. You can't deny this destiny.
You don't have to say it twice, baby, I'll be right there.
sunshine.
I will be your sunshine.
Can you be my sunshine?
Yes, I will be your sunshine.
Will you be my sunshine?
Yes, I will be your sunshine.
Can you be my sunshine?
I'll be your sunshine. I see the sun shining.
I see the sun shining bright.
When I see your smile, I feel the sunshine. You are my sunshine. When I look in your eyes, I see the sun shining bright, shining bright. When I see your smile, I feel the sunshine. You are my sunshine.
Will you be my sunshine? Lady, can I call you baby? Lady, can I get your number, baby?
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Hello, niggas blowing up my phone. Usini hala kama huna phone. Mnani choke, mnani kabako. Hello, Nyiri betinde wa you dogi mawadwaro. Werigi jogi gidwa promises of life. Werigi jogi do machinjia online. Vijana wa Nairobi msinilete ufala, ndio manami huishingi hatungepatana. Ukinikata mara moja wezi nitamalaya. And you're telling everybody that this Gucci's on fire. Only fans, penye imefika nafungua only fans. Kauna nipenda tu mafea in advance. Penye imefika no romance with no finance. Only fans, yeah, yeah, only fans. Penye imefika nafungua only fans. Kauna nipenda tu mafea in advance. Penye imefika no romance with no finance. Only fans, yeah, yeah.
Hello, ladies blowing up my phone. I keep hearing you are so bomb. Wakituma fea twakuja kwako. Oh, yo. Steady grinding all night long. Na sikuji kasi form ya door. Itabidi ukanje ndo tupige show. Ukisikia sauti solo jue ni kubaya. Hii muziki ya Kenya twaipeleka Ulaya. Na temperature inapanda warazi wanakwaya. Tutashinda magrami before tumeretire. Mise only fans, walimefika natambua only fans. Kanika kitu mutumia only fans, walimefika nafanyia only fans. Only fans, yeah, yeah, only fans. Walimefika natambua only fans. Kanika kitu mutumia only fans, walimefika mutambua only fans. Only fans, yeah, yeah.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
what a hater say. Sipping on that haterade, I'm tipsy off that Tanqueray and Alizé, I'm hella paid. Pair of J's on me as I hit the stage, elevate. Toast to the hard work, so every day we celebrate. I'm just a dream chaser trying to reach paper. A few years ago, you know we hadn't seen better, so I had to get up. Hustling never seemed better. I'm fed up, but it won't get the best of me, my nigga. I live a fast life, if you can see. Mula team holding down Africa from the east, please. You know we're trying to stack up all the G's, getting money overseas. Mikey Tony had a dream, Luther King, we believe.
And if I'm gonna make it worth it, then I gotta go hard. Got my city on my back, if you feel me, holla back. I do it for the 2-5 We hold it up,
When we down, you know we holding it down.
we hold it up,
When we down, you know we holding it,
we hold it up,
When we down, you know we holding it down.
hold it up.
When we down, you know we holding it. See, I gotta get that dough. Your money been the motive. Mama told me take it slow, boy. Keep your options open. Now we be all up inside your TV with a couple more beanies while we treat them haters like Stevie Wonder. Why these niggas bother anymore? Tell your tripper shopper man, Karungari better know that we swaggy, nigga out your swaggy. Two G's rolling doobies with some beanies in the backseat. But I don't trust these bitches. I don't trust these bitches. I don't trust these bitches, cause they might catch me slipping. But you already know, Camula, that's that 2-5 flow. Yeah, now when we down, you know we holding it.
And if I'm gonna make it worth it, then I gotta go hard. Got my city on my back, if you feel me, holla back. I do it for the 2-5 We hold it up,
When we down, you know we holding it down.
hold it up,
When we down, you know we holding it.
hold it up.
When we down, you know we holding it down.
I swear I've been waiting for this moment since I was 12 now. Rock a snapback, folk a fitted, let your brain smile. And we just glad you finally listened cause you chose style. 5 mighty kids been on a mission while they talk slang. You spit, I vomit, have you on it, dog, I breathe rhymes. No Superman, just rapaholic, see my team shines. So now I'm sipping gin and tonic, we don't squeeze limes. Cause life's been bitter for a nigga, but I'm still fine. I hope you learn the basics. Boy, them A to Z's, your 1 to 3s ain't talking about the matrix. Next in KFC, oh yes indeed, I've graduated to MC. Living my dreams, glory to G.O.D.
And if I'm gonna make it worth it, then I gotta go hard. Got my city on my back, if you feel me, holla back. I do it for the 2-5 We hold it up,
When we down, you know we holding it down.
hold it up,
When we down, you know we holding it.
hold it up.
When we down, you know we holding it down. When we down, you know we holding it.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Alrighty, welcome back. That is Camp Mula, C-A-M-P to the Mula. We blow this bazooka. Oh my God, they were my not childhood. I think my teenage years was just filled with a lot of Camp Mula. It is holding it down and it's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Pawa Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike, officially welcoming you if you're just joining us. Yes, welcome. You are in the right place. This is the Pawa Morning Drive show, and today we are going to be talking all things digital transformation and artificial intelligence. Where are we? Where do we need to go? And what is happening in that world of digital and technological transformations? But before we get into even introducing my guests, so you can already see, if you're tuning in on YouTube, you can see that. Remember, you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. We are at Power Radio across all our socials, and you can also at me directly at Wanyoike on Instagram, and also at the Wanyoike on X or Twitter, if you may. Right, let's get into it, shall we? Yes, absolutely, we shall. Right, good morning, Mr. Richard.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
All good.
Karibu sana Power Radio.
Thanks so much for having me.
Right, so for anybody who might not know who you are, kindly introduce yourself and let us know exactly what you do and what you are all about.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Richard Odongo. I'm an advocate to the High Court of Kenya.
Yes.
a patent agent registered with KIPI. Yes, and I work at a law firm called Bowman's Kosonani LLP here in Nairobi. My day-to-day practice basically is technology law, data privacy, telecommunications, a bit of gambling here, pharmaceuticals, anything regulatory, policy and tech.
Gotcha. Right. And, you know, before we even get into our conversation, you just had the first news item that I was able to touch on about the deep fake that the PS of the Foreign Affairs Office was able to put out there, claiming that it was, you know, from a news set from CNN's Farid, who was able to weigh in on Kenya's advancement in terms of the diplomatic ties. I mean, we are seeing a lot of worrying trends when it comes to AI and, you know, digital and where we stand. What do you make of this whole entire thing? I mean, where should we even begin? Is it regulation? Is it literacy? Is it control? Where do we start from here?
It's a good question because, of course, I think AI has been with us for actually, you know, more than 40 years. You look at...
Is that?
Yes, right from the 50s, you know, with Microsoft, with companies such as Microsoft, Google, developing products over the years, even autocorrect on your smartphone, which have been there for a couple of years, way before AI became mainstream. That was actually AI before it became mainstream.
This is new information because I feel like I just learned about the word AI 2 seconds ago.
But it's been embedded in all technologies.
Gotcha.
You know, albeit in a very sophisticated way. Only that now it's more mainstream in terms of you know, generating products, generating you know, what you want, text, images, and that kind of thing.
Got it.
I think the main thing, of course, is just caution. You know, you have to be very cautious while using AI in your day-to-day. Whether it's research, whether it's drafting, whether it's coming up with a presentation, whether it's coming up with a, you know, a model. It's just about being very cautious in how you use it.
Awesome. And a lot of people are very worried. We can't talk about digital transformation without talking about its adoption first. So in terms of adoption in Kenya, how are we doing on that front?
Kenya, I think we're one of the first movers, I think, even on the continent. Of course, I'll mention right now, Kenya, there's a draft AI strategy. That's right now, obviously, it was published for public participation sometime in January this year. I expect it will be launched sometime this year. Then, of course, we'll then move on to the AI policy. And then finally, later on, maybe a proper AI regulation, just like the EU has. So I'd say in terms of adoption, we're one of the first movers. Of course, like I think we're discussing off air, we've seen how AI was adopted even last year with the finance bill and how people are using that technology to translate the bill into different various local dialects.
That's right.
And that kind of thing. So actually we have people who in Kenya who are actively working to develop proper models, things that we can use, chatbots that also rely on AI. Chatbots, for example, with BRS, that even, you know, you can even use Sheng. You can actually prompt it in Sheng, it responds to you, and you know, you do your company incorporation process. So I think there's a lot of innovation and evolution in Kenya, at least in terms of AI. Of course, usually, I think in East Africa, we usually lead the way. So I'd say adoption is picking up.
It's key, and you know, the last 2 weeks, I think it was World Internet Safety Day, and a lot of conversations were had about, you know, cybersecurity and data protection, you know, privacy conversations. And I mean, we live in a country where, like, I think 3 weeks ago, the DCI's all social media pages were hacked, and people were, you know, like there was a whole thing. There was a lot of frenzy there. So what are the provisions of the Data Protection Act in Kenya, and what does the law say about cybersecurity and, you know, data privacy? Because I think that's something that we really need to start having a conversation, a deep, layered, nuanced conversation, because it's not just a one-off and then we move on with our lives. It has cost many people lives, you know.
Yeah, that's true. So I'll move systematically in terms of what we have in place in regulation. And I think what I'll start with is the Kenya Information Communications Act, what we call KICA, which was a 1998 act. Of course, over the years, it's been amended and edited. Regulations also, a raft of them were put in place in 2010. So that act, as much as it's over 25 years old. It's been amended over time.
Gotcha.
Of course, even last year again, a couple of regulations, draft regulations were being looked at. Also now tied into the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act and the regulations, that's also being looked at currently, just to catch up with technology and how it's moving. So we have those two pieces of legislation, and then you then move to the Data Protection Act of 2019, which I think in the tech space is, of course, one of the latter, the latest ones. I'd say the Data Protection Act is quite robust, at least in terms of the provisions. The regulations came into play around 2021. The Office of the Data Protection Commissioner has done a good job, I think, in enforcing the provisions of the Act. Granted, there's still a few provisions that need to be looked at, just a bit further, a bit more keenly, in light of the AI strategy and the policy that will come. But I think it's been a good, positive development so far in terms of just educating people how to safeguard their data, how companies use your data, how you have a right to access, to delete, erasure, and things like that. So while there's no policy or regulation on AI, you have all these laws that touch on data privacy, consumer protection, online safety, that sort of cover those angles without really covering AI specifically. I think I'd also just caution to say that AI, I think it's very hard to regulate because you've had open AI, you have ChatGPT, you have Gemini,
the DeepSeek,
and DeepSeek now the new one. It's constantly evolving, and so while you may think that one act or one set of regulations will cover it,
something else is happening.
Exactly,
and they keep
obsolete.
mushrooming up. Like I don't think I can. I've not even caught my breath. We are moving very fast.
So fast.
We are moving very fast, and people are quite apprehensive about AI. We are seeing a lot of scary things. I mean, there's on one front, like for example, in the US, there's a story of this 19-year-old boy that committed suicide because he was going through, depressive episodes, and he was able to have a conversation with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, or one, let me not say ChatGPT, one of the generative AI platforms, and the resolve from the platform was like, you just kill yourself. And because they had cultivated a parasocial, would call it a parasocial relationship. There was trust there from the unsuspecting 19-year-old, and that led him to committing suicide. So there's a lot of scare. There's a lot of apprehension when it comes to the digital world. Should we be scared, even locally? Should we be scared? Because is the fear valid?
I think scared maybe would be an extreme way to put it. I'd say not really scared or terrified, but more cautious.
Right.
Because a lot of positives as well from AI use and adoption. A lot of positives in terms of last year you saw the Safaricom advert, I think, for one of their campaigns where it was purely AI generated, and that's a local a telco company doing that with AI. So I think there are so many positives we can draw from it. The main thing I'd say is, of course, caution. For example, now if it's a minor, in this case you said it's a 19-year-old, so but there's still some sort of parental supervision there. So I think the key thing is, even back at home, the same way you'd maybe supervise your child as you see how they watch TV, how they interact with their peers. It's the same way you can supervise and say, okay, hey, when you go online, please be mindful of A, B, C, D. Don't do this and that. When you're online, as much as it's your phone, it's your account. Please be mindful of these things.
Right.
For companies, how they're dealing with it is now you have a lot of companies rolling out AI policies, so safe use of AI. And now it's forming part of the HR manual. So aside from the normal sexual harassment policies, the bring your own device to work policy, all those policies you have, now you have a safe use of AI policy. Just getting even how people use AI at work, even as you're generating your drafts, emails, letters, and things like that, which model to use, what not to use, what to feed in to the system, and what not to put into the system. So I think I wouldn't say terrified. I think I'd say just more of caution is how we need to approach it. Because there are a lot of positives to be drawn, to be honest. From using it. It makes things quicker, automated, efficient.
And of course, again, there's many pains as there are many gains, and even politically, we've seen many issues of, for example, we've heard that elections have been sort of digitally manipulated. People are buying in their power through digitally, using data to kind of put themselves in those positions of power. I mean, already how it's set up, political systems are wanting in one way or the other. Now we have data that is going to be, I think, is if it's not, it's the holy grail. It's the fastest state, if you ask me, as it were. So what can you say about this entire situation when it comes to politically manipulating, results using data and digital ways?
It's a major issue. I'd say also misinformation, and it begs the question: do we need to amend our election laws, our election offences, and things like that? Does ABC need to look at that? It begs the question, which is a very good debate. I think what I would say is politics, of course, has always been propaganda. Now, from the days of the 40s and 50s, where propaganda was fed into mainstream newspapers, radio, and media, it's now moving electronically, where people are using bots online, basically online fake accounts, to now shape public perspective and shape public opinion online. And of course, the usual thing of buying accounts and all that, which of course these companies are trying to address. I know X have tried to address it to the best degree that they can, but it's really tricky.
Right.
But I'd say, of course, the bots really proliferate that. Of course, even in the previous election, not just this US election, even the previous one,
there were
those
claims.
those claims were there.
Yes.
It's really hard to deal with and hard to cope with, because it's you then struggle to figure out whether it's driven by the candidates, whether it's driven by their supporters online. It's really hard to figure out and regulate, and that's why it begs the question: where should the referees, should the election officials then maybe step in and look at it? But it's a major issue because, again, politics is mainly public opinion. And right now, the best way to drive public opinion, of course, is online.
Right.
Given that now the major voting demographic is mostly, obviously, youth between 18, 30, 35, who are mostly online these days. And that's now becoming the major problem, is how then do governments and election officials then work with these social media companies to try and curb that misinformation. So I think it's an ongoing conversation. A bit of policy and of course law and regulatory. But I think given the evolving nature of social media, it's an ongoing conversation.
For sure.
But one that sparked a lot of debate, and I think also in Kenya, we should now start looking at that quite a bit.
We should. And even, I mean, there's a lot to be said in terms of digital, the contribution of the digital platforms to good governance and democracy. We did see that being used in terms of, like, when we were right in the thick of the protests, but last year. Yes, a lot of people were able to use that positively. But I want to talk about e-commerce, right? And I know you also involved a lot with fintech and the whole conversation of bitcoins and crypto, and which I don't have a hang on. In terms of economic transformation, is this the way that the world is going?
Yes, 100%. Right now, you can literally order anything you want, and it comes right at your doorstep. You won't even, literally, the only finger you lift is to open your door to receive the delivery. Again, the world has moved there because people have now realized actually our consumers want things faster,
conveniently,
easier, convenience. Exactly. And the same way mobile banking came into play, whereby it made our transactions easier. Now you don't need to do a money order or take physical cash. You can do everything. The same way now that's moved to e-commerce, and it's moved to just basically most services, whether it's banking, whether it's medical services. You've seen a lot of medical online platforms, for example. That's really where the world is going, because again, the main driver of that is efficiency and convenience, like you said. Now, what I'd say, at least for on the fintech angle, and fintech, of course, it's broad. There's what you said, cryptocurrency, virtual assets. You have now fintech, the normal mobile payment services and things like that, digital credit and what have you. I think what I'd say is the data privacy aspect there is being appreciated. The Central Bank of Kenya, CBK, about 2 to 3 years ago, actually now put a requirement for digital credit providers. I think the examples in Kenya. There's now a requirement for them to register with the ODPC. And that mandate, that requirement is now to ensure that these companies have robust data protection mechanisms in place.
Yes.
Even as they roll out their products to customers. Of course, you saw the cases that would happen whereby a person defaults on a loan, and then now they text your father, they text your mother, your aunties, tell them, hey guys, Anne has a loan with us, please tell her to pay. That was a violation of of privacy. And if I've taken a product with you, there's no need for you to to go around basically advertising that product to make me pay.
Yes.
So that's why now DPC stepped in, and now they're working with CBK on that to make sure these DCPs adhere to data privacy. Banks, of course, have taken an enhanced role in that as well. A lot of companies now hire data protection officers because they realize it's actually a major issue. Just dealing with customer requests, customer complaints, and also carrying out things to do with data protection impact assessments.
Yes.
That basically help a company to assess how compliant they are with the DPA and how ready they are in case of any data breach, data leak, or just any issue. So I think e-commerce has been a good driver for efficiency. But really, of course, we've seen also the data privacy aspect of it come into play in how these companies roll out their products, contact customers, and what have you.
Right. How has the digital revolution shifted how the legal field does its operations? Like now for you, for example.
I'd say again a lot of automation. Of course, our line of work, a lot of our work product, of course, is the client attorney privilege. Number one. Number two, also because of our day-to-day services or activities. Basically, what lawyers do on a day-to-day basis, you can't apply one set of facts to all your clients. Each client has a different set of facts, a different question, a different query. And so we can't really automate to the same extent as some other industries can. You have to apply your mind to what you're advising the client about. So as much as yes, we do have template documents for certain things, for example, land transactions and what have you, if it's a court matter, for example, you really can't automate that. You have to do the research, read the pleadings, read the arguments, read the correspondence, and then come up with arguments and things like that. The automation, I'd say, is maybe on general correspondence, automation in terms of billing systems, in terms of maybe the admin work, but in terms of the work product side, yes, we do use these tech tools, we do use AI, even as lawyers. But again, like I said, there's a lot of caution, and a lot of law firms, they also have policies around safe use of AI. But I think I'd say, lawyers also need to adopt quite quickly, just automating how you do your things. Even, of course, now we have online meetings, we have online virtual court sessions as well. So I'd say it's being taken up, but for the legal field, I think there's still an aspect of the human involvement is still there. Purely because of the set of facts we deal with, criminal matters, land matters, what have you. It's really
very critical.
It's hard to automate that as well.
It seems as if, like, the more and more I interact with our world today, it seems as if, at least for me, it feels as if the lines are blurred between what is real and what is not. I don't know what to do with myself. Yes, and this is a crossroads. Please speak to that. Where I need to feel... like I miss the days where I'll be like, hey, by there, Richard, what is the capital city of like Estonia? Now, there's no longer that, excitement of or the mystery or the wonder. I can just go and Google and it will be right there. So I'm not... in as much as information is on my fingertips, the human connection, there's nothing that can replace that. So this interplay between the real and the virtual and the augmented and the extended realities, I don't know what to do with myself, and I'm sure a lot of people also don't know what to do with themselves. How do we navigate this world while still being truly human and remaining human?
And it's a fine balance, and there's no magic bullet or perfect answer. But I think now the balance, for example, is like this interaction we're having today. Would have done it online, but it's better to just come in person.
Yes.
So there's
it's like, are you the real Richard or are you the AI Richard?
Or is it generated?
Are you generated?
And we've seen deepfakes as well on just celebrities and whatnot and what have you, and a number of the number of lawsuits, of course, that are still open just purely on the deepfake basis. And we've seen artists, of course, in America mostly. Litigating that, and also a number of media companies worldwide as well, globally, have also sued some of these tech companies for using copyrighted content, on training their models and algorithms. So deepfakes is a major issue. I think, again, I would say the only positive, and we need to balance it very carefully, is you also have VR, virtual reality, which helps people, like, you know, even whether it's movie creation, whether it's just your arcade games, you go.
Yeah.
I think you've seen obviously those the VR
the thing
frames
is,
and whatnot.
yes,
Yeah, people
yes.
actually like that for recreation. It puts you in an alternate world for people who like enjoying that. For example, I can be here in Nairobi.
Yes.
And with my VR, I'm in a Formula One track. I'm in Monaco driving
wherever.
Formula 1 car, you know.
Yes.
So there's a bit of that. There's the positives and the negatives as well.
Yeah.
But for deepfakes, I think again I'd say caution. Caution is the main thing. Like we saw again with this issue with the PS of Foreign Affairs.
Yes.
It's just a lot of caution to be exercised. And also when you interrogate with things online,
yes,
double check, ask yourself, like, is this really accurate? Of course, X now has community notes where someone can actually tag a tweet and say, actually, no, this tweet is incorrect because of A, B, C, D. And those notes actually help a lot of people online, at least.
Yeah.
Which also helps to also curb that issue of deepfakes and whatnot and misinformation.
Yeah.
I think I'd say the main thing is just misinformation, and the issue with public perception is once a tweet goes viral and it has misinformation, that misinformation will spread, and the people will take it at face value and they'll take it as the truth, and it really isn't. So you'll find a small percentage that's exactly refuting the facts on that tweet, post, or whatever, are then drowned out by the silence of the majority.
Yeah.
So, and that's why now I'll say, of course, this the tech companies really need to work, of course, with regulators, with governments, to try and look at how can we better, look at our software, our algorithms, our models, and just try and keep evolving the tech behind it.
Yeah.
Of course, they're trying, they're really doing their best, obviously. But I think, again, like I said, it's ever evolving, just given how AI is really, moving quick, like you said, these days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. As I figure out how to be real in a world that is fake, or how to be fake in a world that is real, I don't even know. I'll take a quick breather. We are still, if you're just joining us, we are here with Richard Odongo. He's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and also doubles up as a technology and data and all things AI expert as well. And we've been discussing about digital transformation and everything in between. This is a good place to take a quick breather. When we come back, we ask him about how is data shifting culture as we know it, and of course we also get to talk about how technology is driving the narrative of education. We are seeing a lot of edtech startup companies as well. How can we leverage on data to ensure that healthcare, for example, and agriculture is optimized to the way that we want it optimized? So let's take a quick breather. We'll come back and we continue with our discussions. This is Power Radio. Do not move a muscle. We'll be right back.
All them girls, wanna big up yourself in a dancing party. This one is original MC Mighty King Kong. Wanna big up. Them love him, them love him, them love him. For real. Them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. Sugar? Them love him, them love him, them love him. She's on the regal, I'm saying. Them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. Lord of mercy. They look so nice, they look nice on and long. Again. When they walk, it feels so good. I'm in love with them girls in the world. And when they smile, he's in the mood. She's on the purity. Cause they are the ladies who really want. One more time. Little girl when a baby jump around town, cause I really tell them a baby give a love, and a baby come around town and give me little love. Regional King Kong gonna run things. All of them are pretty girls, give me some love. Cause I really tell them baby jump around town, and this a reggae time, and a baby come again. Give me little love and baby jump around. Cause I really tell them a baby come around town. Original King Kong, give me some love. What them call me, what is my name? K-I-N-G, original king. When I K-O-N-G, original Kong. All of them are girls when I'm making the field. And at this a reggae time when I baby shake your bums. Cause I really tell them baby come again. Them love him, them love him, them love him. Selassie. Them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. And them girls. Them love him, them love him, them love him. Them cool. Them call him Ladies' Choice, them love him. Them a booty in the one. They look so nice. They look nice on and long. A little bit dance. When
booty on the one. Chana girls come around, Chana give me some love. Regional King Kong gonna run things. Cause I really tell them, my baby give me love. And a one time, when a two time, when a three time. No more, no two, no three, no one, no biggie, let me say. When a girl come around, when I give me some love. Cause I really don't tryna baby give me love. Cause I really tell them, mama come again. It's a dancing time, not dancing party. Cause I really show them, my baby give me party. This a reggae time, man, a baby shake your bumps. Cause I really tell them, original king gonna run to the one. Cause I really tell them, baby give me love. This original gonna make them feel. Reggae time coming, making the fire. Girl, sing along.
Them love him, them love him, them love him.
Kenyan girls,
them call him Lady's Choice, them love him.
Ugandan girls,
them love him, them love him, them love him.
Tanzanian girls,
them call him Lady's Choice, them love him.
Surrey Georgie,
them love him, them love him, them love him.
Papa Belton,
them call him Lady's Choice, them love him.
Mighty King Kong,
them love him, them love him, them love him.
And them girl Sugar,
them call him Lady's Choice, them love him.
She's on the real wine.
Them love him, them love him, them love him.
I'm giving them love.
Them call him Lady's Choice, them love him.
Woman,
them love him, them love him, them love him.
For real.
Them call him Lady's Choice, them love him.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Righty, welcome back. That is A Lady's Choice by the late mighty King Kong, and it's playing right here on Power Radio. And some sad news. The former IEBC, that's the interim in the elections board IEBC chair Wafula Chebukati dies at the age of 63. And you know, that's sad news to us. Just to let you know that the former IEBC chair Wafula Chebukati has passed on at the age of 63. He had been ailing for quite a while actually, and there were many suspicions that he might have passed away a long time ago. I remember hearing this story, but of course I'm not so sure whether those we could substantiate the claims, but it's official that he has passed on. He served in the IEBC, I can't remember for how long, but yes, he has passed on. May his soul rest in peace, and that's that. Yeah. Right. We move on along. And before we went into a break, I wanted to have a conversation about how, data is driving education as we know it. We are in the EdTech revolution. Yeah. Could this be the answer of the many problems that our education systems have, had? Because every time I'm having a conversation with people, they're like, oh God, why did I not know this? Our education system is failing us. And then now comes EdTech. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say, EdTech is of course the way to go moving forward. But again, it raises the questions about accessibility and data. Where are we getting this data from? Is data siloed? Do we have data in one central repository, for example, in Kenya, which for the longest time, most of our data has been siloed in under different ministries. Yeah. You have, of course, civil registries. You have the weather information. You have the health information that's at the health ministry. Yeah. Is it open? Is it accessible? And those are now the questions that it raises even as we roll out EdTech. How accessible is the data to train? And also, number two, is it something that's affordable? Can it actually be rolled out at scale? Yeah. To the people in the real rural areas where even telephone adoption, mobile adoption, mobile penetration rather, hasn't really even reached 70%. Last mile connectivity network. It goes to those fundamental things. Yeah. Power. We keep on hearing the word compute, things like that. Do we actually have electricity infrastructure in those areas to make EdTech actually, accessible for everyone? So I think it sparks a wider debate around that. Just data accessibility and the infrastructure around it. Yeah, but again, of course, it's a good development. Yeah. with the EdTech platforms.
Speaking
Definitely.
of accessibility, we're not doing so well in terms of, data and access. I mean, internet, internet access is not many Kenyans can say that they have access to affordable internet and connectivity as well. So before we even talk about digital transformation, these are some of the things that we have to make sure that fundamentally we have dealt with. So how do we fast track that process?
100%. Of course, we've seen in the recent past the telco companies trying to roll out very affordable smartphones, what they're calling entry-level smartphones, which I think has been good. Of course, you also have internet bundles and internet bundle packages that are more affordable, to the mwananchi, as we popularly refer to. So that I think has helped. But, is it enough? I'm really not yet sure. Whether it's enough, of course, speaks to literacy levels because, again, mobile adoption and software, and also what you'd say smartphone adoption really pegs on literacy levels as well. So the more our literacy levels and skills also increase, and not only in urban areas, because I think we tend to focus and hone in on the urban areas. Forgetting, of course, there's a lot happening outside Nairobi.
The rural areas.
So there's a lot of that as well. For example, can my grandma use a smartphone? Yes, if I teach her, maybe she can. Does the smartphone have Kiswahili enabled where she can use it purely in Kiswahili or vernacular, for example? That would really help. And I think the more the telco companies roll out these phones, of course, they're being manufactured locally as well and whatnot. The more they're embedded with that software that helps that rollout, and I think we'll see a bit more of that. But I think, again, I'd still say that last mile connectivity and mobile penetration, we still need to keep working on that. I know at least the Communications Authority in Kenya, the CA, the regulator, has been really keen on that, and they really utilize that Universal Service Fund, the USF, to try and roll that out. But I think, of course, it's still a bit of work to do to catch up, with the global superpowers. But I think we're on the right track. We're on the right track, as a country.
How does technology shift our cultures as we know it?
I think cultures, you mean
generally? Our culture of doing life, the way we do life.
Again, I think I'd say a lot of efficiency and a lot of permissiveness, I'd say, and also I'd say a lot more tolerance in breaking down the barriers we had before, whether it's a tribal barrier, whether it's a language barrier, whether it's even just a physical barrier, for example. It's really opening our eyes and our doors to the realities out there, which maybe didn't exist before. And I think it's helping people become a bit more cohesive than we were, I'd say maybe 18, 19, 20 years ago. For example, back in 2007. We've really come a long way from that. We're a bit more tolerant as people because of what we see online, the education online, the awareness that's raised online, how people can come together online for a good cause. And even, with products like Mchanga, people can come together online, contribute to a good cause, and see it through, and there's accountability for that good cause, for example. And that good cause can be translated into so many different languages because of, again, the software and the tools that we have now. So I think it's shifting culturally, I'd say, in the sense that we're becoming more tolerant, inclusive, more diverse as well. And I think also just opening our eyes to the realities out there, because of course, if you had no smartphone and no computer in the 80s, 70s, of course your worldview, your global view was very limited in terms of what you could perceive or who you could think you could interact with. And now that's really been broken down, and people are able to interact on a much more, I'd say, global scale. You can have a friend right now who resides in Finland, and you guys talk, so not pen pals per se of writing a letter and taking it to the post office. But
pen pals. Those days. I enjoyed the pen pals. I enjoyed the pen pals, and then Facebook came along. Damn it!
And then millennials are now Gen Z. So I can tell you, not a Gen Z.
Definitely not a Gen Z. Definitely not a Gen Z, right?
But it's just broken down those barriers, I think.
Broken more barriers, but also created more barriers, because I think there's also the thing that with the phenomenon that we call the digital divide. As you said rightfully, there are people, for example, who come from underserved communities that cannot be able to access this, whether it's internet, whether it's devices, all those things. So how how are we ensuring, or how do we ensure that there's no divide and everybody is included in this conversation? If we are moving this way, we are moving this way, and that's just going to be that.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we have the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. So the government is
another
trying to roll
joke.
out. But I mean, it's government trying their best. They're trying to automate what they can. But I think that's really the main thing, that the governments have to keep on trying to do that.
Yes.
And trying to roll out infrastructure to the farthest possible areas that they can. Of course, Africa, that's really the main focus now. Infrastructure as well. So the main thing is just to see, okay, how far will these manifesto promises be yielded? How far will they be willing to put their money where the mouths are, where their mouth is? How far will they be willing to invest in that? To invest in actually rolling out infrastructure, to invest in actually trying to make subsidies, for example, and things like that, and even helping the telco companies, for example, with incentives, tax rebates, to also help them, to help the government in rolling out these initiatives. So really, it's now a question of also putting your money where your mouth is, which I think is what we need to see a bit more of. But I think in terms of embracing tech and online and all these tools, we've seen Kenya, of course, trying to do that as well with eCitizen and BRS, trying to have everything in one central repository as well. Granted, they've had a few data issues over the years. We had the eCitizen one, I think 1 or 2 years ago. We had the BRS one recently. But you see, now that's one of the, you'd say, the drawbacks of technology, that you have to be ready for those instances. You have to also be prepared as an organization and have the appropriate policies in place, privacy by design, privacy by default in place, working a lot with your information security officers, working a lot with your lawyers, working a lot with your data protection officers. It's really now a team sport. I'd say it's a team game to ensure compliance and just to guard companies against those threats. Right. Because obviously you obviously have, and people say a lot of scams are done, on crypto and virtual assets, but really we've seen scams immemorial, even with just traditional finance, traditional banking, M-Pesa. You've had scams on M-Pesa as well. WhatsApp and that kind of thing. So, yes, just being, again, more cautious and just working as a team in terms of that.
I have a question here from a friend of mine. She's called Nzilani. Shout out. She's asking, could you kindly ask Richard to break down the difference between deep fakes, misinformation, disinformation, and also she wants to know what generative AI is in simpler terms. So we can go case by case. What is generative AI? Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with generative AI. Gen AI is basically you feeding the AI model or system with a prompt for it to generate something for you. It can generate maybe an email draft or a letter, an image, for example, or a text. It generates something for you. Then you have augmented AI, which basically also mimics human thinking. Augmented is now trying to mimic how we think and reason. So you break down scenarios and whatnot, and now augmented AI tries to reason and come to a logical conclusion the same way a human would. Generative is now for generating text, images, basically any work product that you'd want. Then misinformation is now obviously publishing or disseminating what someone may or may not know to be untrue, but it's still published either way. Misinformation is basically a lie. Online.
Disinformation.
And then our disinformation is basically what you would say also is maybe an information asymmetry in terms of either limiting how much information is out there or trying to dispel the true information that's out there. Basically now just trying to, limiting how much information people can receive or get. And in some cases, you could even call it disinformation. You could also call it refuting true information, which is also maybe closely linked to misinformation. So deepfakes also form part of misinformation, of which misinformation really is the child of propaganda. Let me just put it.
It's a brainchild of propaganda. And what are the legal implications of all these things? Disinformation, misinformation. What are penalties? What are the penalties as well?
So of course, like I said, there's no regulation or law around AI for now.
Not yet.
What you have is the EU AI Act, which I think is right now, that's the global standard, which even the EU AI Act is still being rolled out. Actually, it was implemented now, I think, sometime last year, properly and fully, after going through the various stages in the EU legislative process. Now, the penalties depend on which law is being looked at or which law is being violated. So it could be under the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, which we're seeing a couple of influencers, online personalities being prosecuted under, whether it's rightfully or wrongly. The DCI and the police force are using that Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act to basically prosecute offenses under that. You also have the Data Protection Act, which also now then looks at, okay, is this data?
Yeah.
Did you have a right to use this information? Did you seek consent before using this information? Did the data subjects consent to it? Is it actually, and then also you then tie it to now copyright, you tie it to things like defamation, which are covered under different, you'd say different case law and different statutes. Of course, copyright, you have the Copyright Act.
Yes.
But things to do with defamation, of course, you also have the the acts and regulation that govern, basically, and things to do with civil procedure.
Right.
So it depends on the context on what is happening at that point in time. You can't really pinpoint and say, this is now the law you'll be prosecuted under, this is a penalty. It really depends on the set of facts and what's being alleged, by whichever complainant it could be.
Yeah.
Is it you leaked banking information, credit card information, things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then now that will then go into the realm of CBK, who will then work with ODPC. So it really depends on the context and which act will be applied in which scenario, which I think is one of the things that the AI policy and, of course, regulation later on will address.
Yeah.
In terms of, okay, will we then have one watchdog for online activity and AI-related activity, or will we then continue to have different regulators working on the different mandates but partnering together when it comes to, a certain problem or a certain case?
Yeah.
But it's under the different acts that we have in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nzilani, that was for you. Thank you so much for answering that question. I think it's a good place to also take a quick breather. When we come back, we I think almost finalize on our conversation today. We have been in the meat and the bones of, just unpacking what does digital transformation look like for us in Kenya by Mr. Richard Odongo. He's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and also a technology and AI expert. Let's take a quick breather. We'll be right back after this short break.
Kama mngari kwa list juu ya Ferrari, ana degree au ni journalist tu journalist. Nasikia wakiuliza ule boy wetu alienda wapi, amepotea kazi ile mbegu watu walipanda na kanyari, Na nasikia inasemekana ati rap zangu kamna mkazo na ile utamu ya rege mama. Maudinari wananikubali na hata ati hawezekana. Kwa wale upenda sauti yangu na iko wale usengenyana mama. Kijana wako amepotea, ni masikio tu yeye anatoboa huku ndugu zake wakiendelea. Mwenyezi pekee anaweza mwokoa, kimaisha amelegea, ingawa hatuoni akitoboa, bado twazidi kumwombea. Amina. Sonangi hata ya ofisi, sina njana jua mpishi. Sijaifanya kazi ya ofisi, sijailala kasi, sijadishi. Sijarap kitu katoka 6 hivi. Trust me, siezi rasmi, miata niache mziki miaka 50. Nikirudi bado na crash nyenye niko fast me. Ndani ya party na nguo rasmi, tumepigwa pasi hapo katikati. Napiga mic check tu niko party, na niko night shift, niko busy, sikuwa najificha. Clearly you rappers missed your teacher. Vitu mnaandika zinachoma picha, nkiwishingi hata kuwafundisha sauti nasikiani. Don't waste your time wishing you're too proud, my baby. Too proud to wish they had an easy way out. Let times get tough so they remember you're a blessing. When life is good, they won't forget to say ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. Naulizwa mbona niliacha mziki, ati nilikuwa mkali juu ya mic na namisiwa na mashabiki. Niliacha game mapema hata kabla refa atapiga firimbi. Bila kwa heri ati walistukia tu kuna clip moja imbi. Samahani, nimepotea, shukrani kwa wale wamenifikiria. Hizo miaka zote nimekuwa missing, lakini kwa kitu hamjaniambia. Kani ningebaki bado ungekuwa nataki ya kusikia nikiwaimbia. Ama baisa ingekuwa mnanifanya vile mnafanya mapioneer. Story kwa media ati nimechapa, niko juu ya madawa na hangaika. Shoni ujamaa mali mbadade buka mukate ndraizie mnaita. It's not that serious, rap ni hobby. Bila mziki bado na mange, ingekuwa karia singekuwa nalia kusikia tinaija like Nairobi. Ambia ni ukama sijifeel sana, we ni mgeni sikia kwanza tunakupenda. Ukikaa tutachoka na wewe, hivyo ndo kuenda. Mimi ule mgeni alikaa siku mbili tu, sikukaa siku mingi nipatie nafasi ya kuchoka na mimi. So now you know Shinsky. So now you know beat ya kega. So now you know.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
That is Mr. Salari, nameless himself. He refuses to give us a name to call him, so we're just gonna call him Nameless. It's playing right here on Power Radio, and jumping right back into our conversation today. We have been talking to Mr. Richard Odongo on all things digital, AI, data revolution, digital transformation, and everything in between. Now, it's quite hard to read into the tea leaves, if I may, of what the next 5 years is going to look like in terms of data and the revolution that is. But if you could maybe try to make sense of what the 5 years was going to look like, because it feels like 1 month is 5 years, yeah? So what are the next 5, 10, 20 years of AI and tech going to look like from where you sit? It's a tall order.
Yeah, it's really tricky. And people have tried to predict, and of course, predictions have gone fallen flat on their faces. Yeah. It's really hard. There's no crystal ball, but I think what I'd say is I'd break it down into 3. So you have R&D. In terms of R&D, we're going to see a lot of investment in R&D. What we'll say? Research and development. A lot of investment in research and development in terms of hiring the best talent, the best skills, which will then tie into geopolitics, because now it will be a race for which continent or which countries will be first to move the next technology or to move to the next phase of AI evolution. Of course, we saw DeepSeek, which was basically a shout to Asia, which was just basically trying to also just come up with something and compete with what we already had, from what you'd say the Western world. Right, so and that speaks to, of course, sovereignty, data governance, and things like that, and there are those embedded issues. The second aspect I'd say in the next 5 years is, of course, AI policy and regulation. We're seeing a number of countries, at least I know in Africa, we have about 5 to 8 countries that have an AI strategy. That some have policies in place, and moving on to the next phase. Like even our neighbors, Rwanda, I think had a document before Kenya came up with one. And they were sort of the example in East Africa, at least. So I'd say movement in that, but very cautious movement, given again how quick technology is moving. So AI policy regulation, I think, would move a bit slower. I think it's just something of maybe publishing more guidelines, more recommendations, more policy papers, discussion papers, just trying to get a grip of it. Because, like you said, 1 month feels like 5 years, honestly. So, and it's really hard to regulate a tech that's always a moving target, and you can't have one document that that fits all. One size fits all really want to work in this space. The third aspect I'd say is, of course, technology. Evolution. We're seeing, of course, the usual suspects, the Elon Musks of this world, creating overnight. Right now, as we sit here, of course, there are guys somewhere creating. Moving, and of course, granted, those countries do have the financial force behind them to come up with software and platform and innovations. In Africa, I think what I'd say is we can then target, just like South Africa is doing, target the small easy wins in the ecosystem. Whether it's, can we look at how we can go up against NVIDIA? Can we go up against AWS? Can we go up against Intel in making chips? Can we come up with a facility whereby Kenya we can say, we won't produce, or maybe we don't have the tech companies and software here, but what we produce for the world is chips. We'll give you guys the best chips you can ever find. And that could be our thing, So I think it's now for other countries, even as we play catch up, you can latch onto different aspects of this whole ecosystem and focus on that. Of course, not one country can focus on regulation and policy, but you focus on those small aspects of infrastructure. Is it data centers? Can we then see how to harness our energy, solar, put more into PPPs in Kenya generally, that then help us to come up with more data centers? Because if you look at data centers globally, Africa honestly is a dot in the ocean. The most data centers are of course in Europe and US, which are very very key in terms of coming up again with these model systems. A lot of energy is used, a lot of internet is used, a lot of data is used. So you need data centers for that.
Yes.
Which again also ties to, okay, will the CA move fast? Will the Ministry of ICT move fast to see that future? At least for Kenya, we could maybe focus on data centers and chips, for example, and that could be our win, and that could be our entry into now that global table. Because of course we can't kid ourselves and say that we're the big superpowers. No, we're still here. But coming up, but we could have a buy-in into that big table, whereby when we go for conferences like the one that was recently held in France, in Paris, then we then have a seat at that table. It's a huge superpower.
And I also saw that they're calling it the digital twins. There's a summit happening right now in Tallinn, Estonia, of where that country is thinking about the 10, 20 years to come. And my God, the conversations in that room. People have figured out a way of waste management using generative AI.
100%, even agriculture.
Watu wamejipanga huku nje. Right. As we conclude, so what really then does it take to build sustainable ecosystems for us to interact with technology, AI, and data?
I think I'd say on the part of stakeholders in the ecosystem, having been, of course, a part of the national AI strategy drafting working group, the main thing we also focused on is, okay, we need buy-in from everyone in the ecosystem, from private equity funds, venture capitalists, to the tech companies, to the regulators, to the government. Everyone has to be on board in terms of, okay, even if we say there's investment, how then do we implement and who do we assign each role in that ecosystem? Government, yes, your role is to create a good environment for innovation and technology and put in place laws, helpful regulation that then help these companies and PEs and VC funds to come in. Okay, PE funds, VCs, how do you guys come in? It's funding, it is looking for the best available talent. It's again buying into things like EdTech, because obviously as you develop, you have to also look at the next generation.
Right.
Are we looking at our universities? Do we have more labs, like iLab in Strathmore, like UN also have their tech center? Do we have more? And do we have them in all universities, spread out across the country? Do we have one in Masinde Muliro? Do we have one in Maseno University, for example, in Mombasa? That kind of thing. And it's really about now rolling that kind of technology out and that kind of information out to then now help propel us. But I think it really takes that whole ecosystem, all those key stakeholders coming together to then sit at a table and say, okay, this is how we're going to approach it. It can't be a siloed approach like we've taken in the past with most of the things that we do, at least as a country. This one at least had to be a very concerted approach. In Europe, for example, in the EU, what they did was they said we're going to safeguard our market, our European market. Okay, then they said, okay, so how do we come up with the best laws that will safeguard our interests? So in EU, what you're seeing is even the fines that you usually see handed out to the big American tech companies, that is EU protecting itself. That's EU saying, actually, we're protecting our e-commerce space, we're protecting our economy. So even when you come to operate here in EU, even as much as you set up and incorporate in Ireland or whichever other country you'll incorporate in, we will still have a say. And we'll have a say given that this is our approach that we've taken and this is what we're going to safeguard. So in even AU also has published obviously the AU's strategy on AI. How then do African countries buy into that? How then, even as we're doing our own individual nationwide strategies, how does that buy into the AU strategy and the global and the global view? So I think we need to take that approach, that one concerted approach, which then cascades downwards into what everyone is doing, whether it's the lawyers, whether it's the developers, whether it's the founders, whether it's the media, whether it's journalists, all of that. It then has a knockdown effect downwards.
Wow. This is not a conversation that can end in one day.
It can't. I know there's so many.
Promise our viewers that you'll come back.
Definitely.
We will continue this conversation.
Definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
as generative as AI.
I will be back. like Schwarzenegger said.
Awesome. But thank you so much. Unfortunately, muda umetupa kisogo. Awesome. Right. That has been my time and Richard's time. We've been talking to Mr. Richard Odongo. He's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and also a technology and data expert. We've been talking all things AI, generative AI and digital transformation in Kenya. If you missed it, there's nothing. No, there's actually something that I can do for you. You can go back and get the conversation on YouTube at Power Radio and also on our social media handles. So we got you covered. And thank you so much to everybody who was able to tune in for asking your questions. Thank you to Ms. Nzilani. She was able to ask a question. Shout out to you. As you go off to the weekend, may you have a fantastic time. But before I let you go, let me remind you and give you the lineup of what is happening today. Right, we have Shiva sessions coming in at 11 a.m. all the way till 1 p.m. With Miss Caroline Muroten. Then after that, at 1:30, we are going, the gang is back. The squad is back, led by the host with the most at Acost. Bernard, no doubt himself. He comes in with the gang on the Power Up show from 1:30 all the way till 3:30 p.m. And then later on, our in-house reggae nerd, Miss Flozz herself, comes in with Ital Groove. She takes us to Jamaica, tells us what has been happening in the world of reggae and everything in between. So you do want to stick around for that conversation and much more. But I want to remind you guys that you're still sending in. We asked you a question last Friday because tomorrow we have an event called Kiocha Jamii. It's a poetry experience, and actually it's interesting because Oyamo Richard, who is the convener of this event, has put together the poetry pieces and he's using and leveraging augmented and virtual reality with poetry. So it's going to be such an absolute amazing time. So we'll see you tomorrow, I think, yes, from 2 p.m. all the way till 6 p.m. at Mageuzi Hub, which is located along Agwins-Kodek Road at Metropolitan Court. See you tomorrow, but no, actually, I'll see you at 1:30 because I'm back with the Power Up and all the gang. But thank you guys, and we will see you at 1:30. Goodbye. God bless.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
If I had your number, I'd be forever texting you. Even cucumber would be the language that we use. There'd be no other, no. Come on now, MCO, I hope you understand. You're the best that I have. If I had your number, I'd be forever calling you. I hope you answer, girl. We speak the Luo when we through. Nyakoti better than delay. I told the better than delay. And if love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. I hate each other. I hate it, I hate too. I hate each other. I hate it, I hate too. I hate each other. I hate it, I hate too. I hate each other. I hate it, I hate too. Got it too. I got your number from your friend Washera. Akanipa mawaidha. Eti unapenda maua. Eti nipige pamba. Na marashi ya kishua. Kisha tuende dina. Nikupigie kagita. And if love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. If love had a face, it would be yours. I hate each other. I hate it, I hate too. I hate each other. I hate it, I hate too. I hate each other. I hate it.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.